Crypto holders, we have a massive week coming up of the week of May 11th, 2026. This week alone, we have the potential to see a new Fed chair be nominated. We also have the possibility of the Market Structure Bill or the Clarity Act getting pushed forward on Thursday. And then we also have the United States president meeting with the Chinese president as all this is unfolding. It's going to be an exciting week. You're going to hear some crazy stories. So watch this video all the way through so you are ready for this week and what's to come from this. Let's go ahead and get to the first story. It comes from Cryptopolitan on May 11th, 2026. And this is the story that has to do with Kevin Warsh replacing Jerome Powell as the Fed chair. Beyond that, we're going to talk about the Clarity Act, then we will wrap it up with the meeting with Xi and President Trump. Big week. To expect volatility is an understatement. Anybody that's new here, just know all my resources that you see on the screen will be down in my video description. I will have a few PDFs for you to check out should you want to. It's really interesting stuff in that. But let's go ahead and get into it. Cryptopolitan story right along with me here. We have Warsh faces Senate cloture vote Monday as Powell plans Fed board return. As you scroll down here, it kind of gives you a little bit of a TLDR thing. We have the Senate is set to hold a cloture vote on Kevin Warsh's Fed chair nomination at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday, May 11th. If confirmed, Warsh could be sworn in by May 15th and lead his first FOMC meeting on June 16th through the 17th. Powell plans to remain on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors through January 2028 rather than leave the central bank entirely. So this is a big move if we do actually see Kevin Warsh being nominated, and he is going to take the reins starting January 16th, 17th for the FOMC, but he would actually take the reins effective immediately after the 15th. So this is a pretty exciting week for this, because if you know anything about Kevin Warsh, maybe you're new to him, he is very pro crypto, pro Bitcoin, etc. This will be a good change for anybody that's in the market. Now let's see what happens and what comes of this, but still, this is great progress. And I want to show you the next couple of things here. This is the executive calendar. This comes from the actual government's website. This is their full calendar that's going to break down the nominations, etc. And then after that, I want to show you their yearly calendar so you have a better understanding of how your Congress and Senate works. So let's go ahead and get to that first PDF I was talking about here. Check out your screen with me. It's pretty interesting stuff in this. So check it out. It says the Senate of the United States, the 119th Congress, its executive calendar. This is, Monday, May 11th, 2026. And as you go through it, you can start seeing all the resolutions that they have. But what's interesting is what you see within these nominations. You have the Department of Justice, you have the Department of State. This is a massive week for all Congress and Senate, guys. Department of Transportation, Department of Congress, and so on and so forth. But as you go to page 13 of nominations, you have the Federal Reserve System. This is where Kevin Warsh is being on the docket to be nominated, or at least the culture being pressed forward. And the culture is essentially there's no more filibusters. You guys have to vote on this. There's pressure on Congress, Senate to actually do this. This is what I want you to really see here, though, guys. This is the United States Senate 119th Congress, second session, 2026 tentative schedule. Why am I showing you this is for this reason. Out of 365 days, they are only scheduled for about 145 days of work when you remove the federal holidays and the red days that Senate is not in session. So as you look through here and you wonder why can't we get things done, look at all the days off, all the weeks off, especially as you move into August. They're on for 1 week, guys. Then you go to October, which is their Q1, they're only working 2 days. Like, think about that. If you, a citizen, was only expected to work 145 days and have 220 days off, I mean, how unfair is that, right? But beyond that, think about how little they're working. So when you're getting frustrated about bills not getting passed and things not getting pushed forward, keep in mind they hardly work compared to people that have a steady full-time job, etc. So there's limited days on the calendar is what I'm getting at. That's why you don't get frustrated as you're waiting for all these things to proceed and press forward, because there's limited time for them to actually work on these bills is what happens at the end of the day. But now that we have the Kevin Warsh Senate potential of him getting nominated going forward, now let's talk about the Clarity Act, what's coming up. So this is happening on Thursday. So check out this from All in Crypto, posted about this, good information in it. It says Big Clarity Act meeting this week. On Thursday this week, the Senate Banking Committee will review the Digital Asset Markets Clarity Act of 2025. If passed, It will be a huge step toward the act, which will shape crypto rules in the US and also globally. So on Thursday, May 14th, 2026, we could see this bill, market structure bill, Clarity Act, being pressed forward, moving on to the next step. But what are the next steps? And this is something I hope other people are talking about. Just because if this does get pushed forward Thursday, this is where you really need to pay attention, because yeah, that's a great step, but it's nowhere near to being completed, guys. There's so many more processes in this before it actually goes into law. So check out your screen with me. We're gonna walk through it. I did use ChatGPT to make a chart for me. So definitely do your own research and make sure this is accurate. Again, guys, that should just be something you always do anyway. But check out this chart with me here. We're gonna walk through where we're at and what we have to do still to get it to actual law, right? So check it out with me. So right now we're at the United States Senate Committee Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. That's where we're at now for that Thursday. Then it goes to the Senate calendar for placement. Then we'll have the full Senate debate. Senators will debate the bill and propose amendments, right? Then we have the Senate culture vote. This is where we're at with Kevin Warsh right now. Then you have the full Senate vote. Then you have the House Senate reconciliation. Then a full House vote. Then final Senate vote if needed. Enrollment process, White House delivery, presidential action, and regulatory rulemaking. You can take a screenshot of that snippet or whatever you want to do, guys, but definitely understand we have 11 more processes in this step before we actually see this go live. And keep in mind, even if the president does sign it, there's still going to be months to years before all that regulation is actually implemented within the market. So there's still time, and this is why people are saying 2030 is about this time frame when we're really going to see things go into full swing. I'm showing you this so if anybody is new here, you understand anybody that's hyping you up, telling you that XRP especially is one of the big ones, is going to go to $1,000 by the end of the year. I mean, I'm not a magician, I can't predict the future or anything like that, but that's highly unlikely based on how things actually work, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to knock anybody's belief system out there, but just understand there's so much more behind the scenes that you need to be aware of before we actually see those price actions, right? But while we're talking about that, I think it is important to keep in mind we do see a lot of crypto adoption, so still be excited about it and still do your research and educate yourself, but I would spend more time educating myself rather watching the price charts swing up and down thinking I'm about to be a millionaire next week because some influencer told me it's going to $100 by, January 1st, whatever, I'm throwing a date out. So do the research, educate yourself, and stay away from driving yourself crazy on the price charts, okay, guys? We have a long way to go still. Now let's get into the crypto adoption. This is where you can be excited because you can see physical movement of institutions gaining adoption within the crypto space. So check out this. This comes out from Cointelegraph on May 11th, 2026, and it breaks down crypto adoption by institutions. This is actually a very interesting chart. Check it out here with me. I'm not going to go through it all because it is an eye chart, but please use that resource in the description or you can screenshot it. I'll give you a second if you want to screenshot it. All right, so Bank of America, they are very slow to crypto adoption. As you can see, they have crypto ETPs. But BlackRock, BNY Mellon, Cboe, all these other ones are definitely gaining momentum and speed. But what I want to point out mainly is JP Morgan Chase. So JP Morgan Chase is the only one that has all 5 buckets checked. And the 5 buckets are crypto trading in custody, private crypto funds, crypto ETPs, crypto-enabled payments, and tokenization. JP Morgan is the only one out of all these GSIBs. If you know what GSIBs is from my previous videos, let other people know down in the comments. But this is the only one that has all 5. So JP Morgan is definitely moving forward with crypto. They're moving it in a big way, which is funny because Jamie Dimon was one of the loudest voices saying, stay away from it. He wouldn't let his staff buy crypto, Bitcoin, etc. because it was so bad and evil, stay away from it. But they're the front runner in all of this. Very important to notate that you don't watch what they say or listen to what they say, you watch what they do, right? That's very important. So the next piece of this is that meeting with President Trump and the Chinese President Xi. So this is happening. Check it out with me, coming from Crypto Rover, posted on May 11th, 2026. Check it out here. It says breaking. China confirms that Trump will visit the country from Wednesday, May 13th to Friday, May 15th. So as we have the potential of a new Fed chair, potential of the Clarity Act getting pushed forward, the Iran Middle East situation with Strait of Hormuz, all this is happening. We now have the President of the United States meeting with the President of China. If you've been following the channel for a while, and especially if you're a member to the channel, we talked about the real situation behind the scenes. What's happening with the Strait of Hormuz is actually between the United States and China, not necessarily the United States and Iran. And I won't go too much into it just because, the platform we're on, but we're starting to see China and the United States now have negotiations, which is great because that's how you really are going to solve the end to the conflict in the Middle East, is if we see progress with China. And as we're starting to see all this happening, we're starting to see other countries become more prone to taking on crypto and getting more regulation in there. We're getting closer as a global impact for everybody to go to crypto, tokenization, etc. We'll see what happens from this meeting. Again, this is why I'm saying, guys, expect the unexpected this week, going into next week. When you have the president of China and America meet, there is going to be something big coming from this meeting. We just don't know what it is yet. And it definitely could have an impact on the markets, because if he comes back out from this meeting and says, hey, tariffs to 50% of everything off of China import, you can see the markets react, right? But if you walk in, you say, hey, there's going to be no tariffs, or there's going to be 5% tariffs, the market can react in a different way for the positive, right? So we just don't know what's going to happen out of this meeting, but I will say keep your eye on it just so you can be prepared. As we said before in this channel, is you want to be responsive to these news stories. You don't want to react to these news stories. And the difference being that you're expecting these news stories, you're expecting something to come from it, and you will respond. Versus you hearing this news story last minute and then you react and go do something stupid like sell all your stuff off when you shouldn't have, right? That's why it's important to watch everything going around you. All right, that's all I have for you guys in the video. If you guys did like something, please hit that like button. As you know, viewership is very much down on YouTube. Thank you to anybody that subscribes to this channel. You guys know I cannot do this without you, and I very much appreciate your support. That's all I have for you on this video. Before I let you go, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and become that change that you want to see in the world. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll catch you on the next one.